President Trump's diagnosis has also led to questions what happens if he is unable to perform his duties. For more on this, we're joined by Regent University Constitutional Law Professor Brad Jacob. Professor Jacob, thank you so much for joining us on the broadcast. So what happens if the president cannot perform his job?
Well, the Constitution provides a coverage for that. The vice president is able to take over and serve as acting president. Now, if the president acknowledges that he is incapacitated, it's easy. He simply notifies Congress that he can't serve for the time being, and the vice president becomes acting president until the president says, I'm ready again. It's trickier if the president does not want to give up power. Then it can be done by the vice president and the cabinet, but that has a possibility of becoming a power struggle with the president that could eventually be resolved by Congress.
How bad would the president's health have to get for him to sign over responsibilities to the vice president?
Well, I mean, it's really not a legal question. It's a question of whether he believes he is capable of doing his job, or whether the vice president and the cabinet believe he's capable of doing his job. And it could be very short term, just the illness has got him knocked out. If a president goes in for surgery and is going to be under general anesthesia, the vice president may become acting president for a few hours. It could go for longer, but basically any situation where he's unable to perform his duties is potentially a situation where the vice president might have to take over.
Yeah, this all comes, Professor Jacob, from the 25th Amendment to the Constitution, as we know. When was this enacted and why?
I don't remember the year. I'm sorry. It's been a few years that it's been in there. This procedure has been used by other presidents, again, for very short-term things where they have been in the hospital, been in surgery. There's been a situation. So it's not a new provision, the 25th Amendment. It could be used again.
Yeah. The next debate is in just 13 days, and the election, as you know, in 32 days. Any indication how this will affect the president's campaign and possibly the election?
Well, it appears to put a real damper on his ability to campaign. I presume he's going to be isolated in the White House. And so any public events, any more debates until he is cleared to be back out again, they're not going to happen. He can do what he can do over TV as long as his health permits it, as long as his symptoms aren't too great. This could be a mess for the election. I guess the worst possible outcome in the sense of the confusion would be if he died before the election. That would really throw things into a mess. Let's pray that doesn't happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Professor Jacob, thank you so much for joining us on the broadcast. Professor Brad Jacob, professor at Regent University Constitutional Law. Be sure to stay with CBN News for continuing coverage on President Trump's COVID-19 recovery right here on the CBN News Channel and on cbnnews.com and our CBN News app.